Jiminy Christmas, what the fuck did I do here? Took in about $80, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Took a bit of $80, motherfucker. $80, motherfucker. Shiwa, motherfucker. Shiwa. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Just one. Yeah.
We're just waiting.
Oh.
Can't drive it. Only for a week. Yeah, then I have to go back.
Yes.
146 for rods.
It's safe one too.
And I can make it out here, or you can make it out there.
150.
Hi.
You just still serving orange juice?
Yes, you can get orange juice all day long.
Can I get a large one? And
Now, our large for the orange juice is
no, I mean, can I get like a large, like you put a Coke cup? You can charge me for it. That's fine.
let me, I'm pretty new,
That's fine.
and I've never had that.
What if it's extra? That's fine. I'll pay for it. I don't mind. I just want a bunch.
So what is it again?
751.
A large orange juice, but you know how our large orange juices come in
Like the big
medium
Pepsi
size.
cup.
That's our large right here. That's the biggest size we have in orange juice.
Can I get like a big Pepsi cup and pay for it extra? Pay for two. That's fine. I don't
That's
care.
fine.
Two then?
Yeah, it's like the biggest cup.
I
you
would go
got.
a medium and a large and a small. And that'll
Okay.
cover it. That'll cover that.
Okay.
150?
And a small French fry, please.
Yep, then that's you.
For here or to go?
Right here, please.
Table number will be 57. And it will be $7.91, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And your fry will be up in a moment. Well, hello.
Hello. I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Can't believe it, all the kids are over there.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you, Dad?
Hey man, how are you?
What do you know?
Oh, not a whole
You're
lot.
still eating?
I just got these. I didn't eat much when I was up there.
Didn't you really? How
Hi,
you been?
doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
I think I'll get some too then.
Okay.
Any order for you?
minute on your coffee.
That's okay. Just put it on the tray. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know them. They're good people, but they don't need to listen.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been over to Golden Corral in a long time. How's the food?
Buddy, their breakfast is good. They have steaks
Oh, really?
on Saturdays. Eggs, waffles. My daughter likes it a lot. So.
Good.
I just wasn't in the mood to eat when I got there.
Tony, remember the days we used to be able to turn on your TV and just watch television without going through all of those channels? And everything?
Yeah, I do.
Just like you're saying.
I used to have a VHS knob that had to turn on my TV to get the tower to turn.
Antenna?
Yep.
We did too. Actually, we had one before that.
But yeah. Now there's 1,000 channels and most of them are carrying.
Different. Everything's changed.
Yeah.
You've been doing okay?
Losing a lot of weight, Pat. Losing a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, you look like you're on your face.
60 pounds.
What you do? Just watch what you're eating?
I can't help but watch what I'm eating. I got my appetite's going.
You're not trying to lose weight?
Well, I haven't been, no, but I mean, I started like using a little 10-pound. My spine's bad.
You know,
There's times I can't even move, Pat. I mean, there's times I can't even get out of bed.
a year ago when I took office, I was 10 pounds lighter. And it's stress and everything goes wrong.
Well, with them kids being in there, that's bad.
How many?
2 kids, and here's where they okay. So you know Gibson was one of the officers that showed up, and you know he's on the board at Sugar Tree.
Yeah, Gibson.
He's a mandated reporter. He didn't call CPS. That's a problem.
Gibson.
So you've got a my opinion. You've got a mixture that is not in line with your mission.
100%. You know,
I think you've got an entire building full of
I'll
people.
tell you one thing we got, the big leap.
According to your mission statement to me, I would say the largest majority of your building is not in line. They're either at each other's throats.
Administrative is, I tell you that. But we have problems basically with the PD. Thank you very much.
I'll take that, so it's out of your way.
Gotcha. Thank you. Big problems PD.
I would not disagree.
Combination of young officers who really don't know what they're doing. Then we have a culture that's been there for 50 years.
I'm going to say the culture is the one that needs to go.
That's the problem.
Oh, I know it is.
We're trying
And
to
your
reform
dispatcher, Terry Armand, she should have been the first to go as soon as you walked in the door.
it. I don't know.
She's the heavy dispatcher that broke your policies 17 times in a week
Here's what we got.
and doesn't even care.
Here's what we
Didn't
got.
care because she's been allowed to act recklessly by all the former administration. She feels empowered. And when you empower people like that, Pat, they feel like they can't be touched and fired. I think a very stern message needs to be sent. Because if I were you, I promise you, 10 people tomorrow would be gone.
Tony, part of the
They'd be
problem-
gone. No questions.
Part of the problem
At will.
has been the dispatchers, for example, they've had supervision. It's been under the police. I moved it and hired a new dispatch supervisor. Doesn't need to be under the police. Need to be independent. Answer to me.
Yeah, well, she okay, so historically, nothing ever happened. She got a smack on the wrist by Pippin. Don't do it again.
What's she doing?
The day that me and Daryl got arrested, 5 minutes after, it was almost like she knew herself we were going to get arrested. She was telling people, make sure you pay attention. Ron Fenton warned Jane, don't get loud.
Tony,
You've got cops that don't even know the damn Constitution of this country, Pat. You've got administrators that don't know their job description. What the hell is that?
Tony, you're not telling me something you don't know. I've been shot.
When you hold your hand up, you better damn well know what the hell you're getting into. I mean, I take that very seriously. I mean, I do.
Well, I do too.
I mean,
I'll tell you this, there's nobody takes it more serious in the city of Wilmington than I do. I live with it every day.
well, I promise you, Pat, me and you'd be in a tie for first then. Because I mean,
Well, I hope you believe me, but I'm not. You know, the thing is, Tony, we have to have an outside, strong agency come in and Marshall
Yeah.
from top to bottom. And we're working on doing that.
that would be a third party
And going back
internal investigation.
far back, we have to go.
Do you know one of the reasons I got arrested, Pat?
You mean that night?
Yeah. Okay. The meeting prior to that, I read aloud, and I sent every council member what Judge Ruddick did to me. And then 2 days later, Brett Ruddick then tells me, "Don't make me hurt you." I laughed at him because that would never happen from a physical standpoint. I really did laugh at him. But then I got arrested, and that's when I figured out what he really meant. And, but you know what I read?
I can tell you who did it.
Oh, it's probably Brett.
3 people. Who do you think?
I'm going to say Brett, Ron Fithen, Brett McKay.
One more will surprise you.
So it was Brett McKay and
Okay.
Perky. Imagine that.
That was a surprise to me. The other two.
I always thought took Perky as a kind of a stand-up guy. I mean, as far as like the rules.
I'm telling you for sure between you and me.
Yeah. Well, everybody seen it was planned, Pat. I mean, it's my lawyer or Matt looked at that and he said, "Boy, this wasn't planned." The only two people not breaking the rules, and the one guy that does break the rules doesn't get arrested.
Well, Tony, I want you to know something. I've never covered up anything in my life, never been going to. I'm not part of the problem. I'm trying to solve the solution. Come up with a solution. It's hard to do because what they're doing every single day, sticking me in the back in some way. But we're going to keep at it till we get this thing cleaned up. I wanted to tell you, Gene called me when you were asking about that situation with Ruddick. I think it was last Sunday when it was nice. I was taking a walk. My phone rang. Or
Pat,
no, I
you
called
know
her
his
back.
neighbor. Before you start, you know his neighbors hates his gut and record everything he does.
I heard that.
So what I'm going to recommend if they release to me body cam footage that don't match what I already have, there's going to be a huge problem.
Here's what I found out. She had sent me a text early in the morning and said, "Could you give me a call?" So about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I was walking, and it was nice out, it was 60 degrees. And she said, "Have you heard about Ruddick?" I said, "No." She said, he had his wife, how did she put it, kind of assault,
Was leaving him.
was being unfaithful.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
unfaithful to him, and said that he had found a bill on the chicken machete, went out there, they arrested him, he was booked. None of that's true. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I can tell you what happened now.
Yeah.
He didn't go out there. This J.R. Spitzing, you know him?
Yeah.
I knew his dad, I believe. Was he the bail bondsman?
See, I thought he was always related to the Spizzics that Mike Spizzic. And it's not. It's not the
I
people
think
that I
his
know.
dad's J.R.
He's Jr.
He really is. He must be a junior because his dad would be 65 years old. I'm not saying she's not seeing a 65-year-old man, but I don't think that's the case. Do you know this guy?
I can't imagine there being two different Spizzic families in the same town.
Well,
Pat.
no, what I'm saying, I think it's
Yeah.
his son.
Yeah.
He's old enough to have a son in his 30s.
Yeah.
So that's who I think it
This
is.
guy's in his late 30s, probably early 40s.
Well,
And he hangs out with the whole.
the group.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? She went off with it. She wasn't off for just an hour.
It was
She
all
with
night.
him all night.
Yeah.
Well, he found out. college psychiatrist, Greg Billingfeld.
Yeah.
Took him had him committed.
3 days. Yep.
He obviously didn't, but they need to deal with that as a family.
I've always thought. I'm going to tell you something, Pat. 4 years ago, I predicted that. 4 years ago, I predicted that. I can see it in his eyes.
He grew up that way.
He grew up with his daddy covering everything he did, entitled. Everything he did, he got covered. He's never been able to fall on his
Is
ass.
he close to your age?
No.
Is he
No,
older or younger?
He's Brett's much younger than me. I'm 54 years old.
How old is he?
Probably 45 maybe. But
You know how he ended up going to school, Glenn Massey?
yeah, he got caught smoking in Wilmington. I talked to the
You know that old story?
yeah, because the judge went over to the superintendent and tried to talk and say, hey, you know what? Right, tried to talk and smooch his way back into the Wilmington. And Wilmington said, no, that ain't working here. And so they took him over to Massey. He wasn't even in the district, but he didn't have to pay the none of that stuff. But
And that was probably 15, 20 years.
yeah, well, that whole family has a problem with consequences, and they're very delusional.
I saw your tape or your email about Sim's life. Did they video it and did the state patrol take her home?
No, they let her go. They let her go.
Is it true? Do they know it out here at the headquarters?
I'm pretty sure they do. Because I mean, I got people.
Well, that was from
Pat, I got people at the state level too, and I mean, 2 days after that happened, a lot of troopers in Ohio are Marines. They come right out of the Marine Corps and they go straight to the straight to the state troopers, and it's an automatic. You know, they're already in top
One
shape.
big happy family.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, and so, dude, he's like, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, what? He said he gave me the officer's information, the date it happened, where it happened, and he said request this. And at first, the state gave me some shit. You know, they started making up excuses. So I know how far how far it goes when it comes to covering these elites up. And then I sent another email. I said this is going to be my last time requesting. I gave you a very specific name, and then my next turn is my attorney.
Did you get it?
I got it. Yeah, they gave it. State of Ohio is the ones that gave me the footage. They redacted a couple.
Did you go out here locally to request it?
No, I did it. There's a website that you go on to get all the state patrol records, and it's pretty easy to do. And
Was she drunk?
the three people that I've showed this to that's in her family says hell yes she was. Yeah, and here's Pat. If you've stopped people, you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so and the first. Okay, so you understand that they haven't been together for 9 years. They've been separated.
I don't follow that. I don't know.
So they've been separated for 9 years, or better, 10 years now. And she said this is not a happy couple on social media. She openly said, and 5 minutes later, that post was jacked and removed. There's people over there. There's over 100 people watching these elites like a hawk. Every move they make, because they're sick of it. Pat. They're sick of it.
Tony, I wanted to tell you too.
And real quick, the second she said, you don't know my husband? Judge. As soon as she said judge, it was kid gloves. It was kid gloves.
That is really surprising.
She holds her glasses. You didn't see the video?
No, I couldn't open it.
Okay, I gotta send it to you. I'll
Is
send
it a Facebook thing? Because I'm not on Facebook.
No. The email you can go and open the link.
If you'll do that.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you because it's on my PC because I downloaded it on my PC. The way she treated that trooper, Pat, was. What did he say? She's like, "How old are you?"
Oh, yeah. Sorry, really?
And, yeah.
We got too bold. You know, Tony.
She gets out of her car and bows up and puts her hands up, Pat. Do you know what would happen if that was me? I get out of my car and stand up and start talking to the trooper and put my hands above my waist within an arm's length of that gentleman. He's got every right to ride the light. Send me on a lightning bolt. Come on, man. If that was me or anyone else, it would have been bad. They would have been on the ground. But he tells her very sternly, "Man, get back in your car. Get back in your car." It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
And then let her go.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, usually a lieutenant is in charge of the local post. I'd contact him. When
Well,
this happened.
you know what? I hate to get the trooper in charge. I do. Because they're told to have kids go with some, hey, judges and wives and families and certain people you don't touch. And that's the mentality. Whoever's telling them that, those are the people that need to go.
That's true.
Because they're
Tony, I was going to tell you. You know, we have leaks in the police department.
oh, you got a lot
I know that.
in your administration, in your entire building, Pat.
Well, I can tell you this, the administration upstairs where I'm at, I'll let you know one.
I know a few.
No.
I'm Pat. I'm not going to do that to those people.
You what?
I'm not going to do that to those people. I mean, I'm not going to get anybody in trouble, but
Well, I'll clear it up.
yeah, I mean, they're not per se. They're not against you.
Let me ask you some names.
They're not against you. I'll put it to that way.
No, I understand that. You can't leak information out.
Yeah,
And I tell you, you know the thing with Reddit. And I'm going to tell you,
Well, that
The
didn't come from me. That came from Jane. Told me that,
she got bad information because it wasn't
and that's why I waited.
okay.
That's why I didn't say anything. That's why, because
She's about 90%, but then there's that 10%.
you can never ever when the hearsay is 10% true and 90%.
I didn't know if you got it or she.
No, she did. She did.
Okay.
So, but what
I'm meeting with her this week on some other matters. And
she's the one that has more people upstairs than downstairs. But I'm going to tell you, there's people on that police force that are sick and that are sick.
I knew they were.
And they're good. I mean, when you have a good cop that is afraid to do the right thing, that's disgusting, man. What does that do to your morale? And Pat, you're not going to sit there and tell me that Jewelrett should have been given a ticket. He should have been. It should have been a third-party investigation. He should have been given a ticket. What's that?
There was. We did it third party.
So a state trooper came and investigated?
Nope. We didn't use the state police. I tell you
Sheriff's
what we
Department?
did. Who?
Sheriff's Department?
No. We, Clux and I handled it from the standpoint of overseeing what they were doing, because I think what you saw,
According to policy, Pat, what I know, the policy was not followed. It was not adhered to.
well,
And here's why I say that, because he was on the job. He caused a major amount of damage. It doesn't matter if he's in a car or what he's in. In any type of accident, you're immediately drug tested and alcohol tested. He was done neither one. And I know the man has a substance abuse. I know he's a drunk.
do you know him well?
I know people in his family. The man's an alcoholic.
Is he local?
Jewelry, there's some of his people in Hillsborough. Yeah, Highland. Is that Highland or Fayette? That's Highland. He's got people in Highland County. And here's the thing: if you got a problem, you deal with the problem. I mean, but if you're coming,
Tony, I can tell you this.
if you're coming to work with and you still got the hair of the dog, Pat, that's a problem.
It is a problem. And I can tell you this, like I said to you a couple times, I'm trying to reform this place. It is a big job.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Because
You got 40 years of corrupt pieces of shit. That's, and
you remember when the policeman shot the guy, Goldie?
yeah, I remember. Yeah,
That was about 1974.
yeah.
Well,
That was some corrupt shit. I know all about
and that
that.
wasn't even the start of it.
No. Yeah, that cop should have gone to jail.
You know, my brother, he did. He went to the penitentiary for about 7 or 8 years. But you know, my brother was a policeman there for Wilmington for 30. And he told me, he said back in those old days, you had a murder or a death, 100% was always suicide.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Suicide.
Yeah, because they don't want to work it. And right now, Pat, there's probably 5 unsolved murders in Clinton County right now.
Could be.
Do you remember the old guy who used to walk the streets with his little radio? He got beat to death.
Yeah,
he got
I know.
he got beat to death.
You remember the guy that was out of Kroger's with the guitar?
Yeah, yeah.
He's gone.
What?
Like, nobody's seen him in a year or two. Now, he might have moved on, but I tell you what, talk to Jane about it, because he told me, you know, she goes out to these camps once in a while, and she saw the guitar sticking up like a monument.
So
You know what I'm talking about?
I do know. So my son, I don't know if you recall this. He is. I'm proud to say this because he's my pastor.
Who is it?
My son.
Oh, your son is a pastor?
Yes. So I don't know if you know this or not, but he was drafted. He was being drafted into the Major League Baseball. He's a catcher.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Big 6'4", very strong, very heavy hitter.
I saw him play one time.
And so he used to sit out and street preach because that's his heart was with being doing his duty as a Christian and he said he went down to that place, Dad, and he said, Dad, he said why are all these people being brought here? I said, what do you mean, son? And I didn't. He goes, Dad, they're coming here from everywhere.
I know it.
And then I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes, Pat, down at UVF. There was a van one night, and I went to a few nights later. There was another van, big white van, a bunch of people getting out with matching luggage. So they're coming. They're either coming from the same rehab, but anyway, he said, Daddy, that place is bad. He said, he goes, I feel it in my heart, and I know it in my heart that place is bad. He said, they're not doing they're not doing the Lord's work.
This is what I want to talk to you about.
So
You know that group that every Saturday they go out and they hold on just a minute. Every Saturday about noon they have signs about the Ukraine and so on. You know that group?
yeah.
They got all upset because we took that mural down about Ukraine on the front window of the City Hall.
Well, you should have, as you should
Well,
have.
it's been up 3 years. That can't be a bulletin board city because once you start that, anybody can use it. You use it for one group, you start
Well, yeah. Then if somebody comes in and says, okay, well, we want to
Devil
use
worshippers, whatever.
Palestine.
Go to Trump, see what that
Yeah,
happens.
exactly. Or hey, go Iran.
Right, exactly. So, yeah.
What you know what the excuse is, right? You know Wilmington has a sister city in Ukraine.
They have 3 of them.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
I got
They
into
invited
this.
me over Thursday to talk to the group. There were about 30, and it was an ambush, but you know what? I did okay. But
Do those people even have a clue about what that's really about? And that's the
have you
problem.
ever talked to a group that's
Blind as a bat.
they talk over each other, they yell, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They have half truth. Well, this went on for about 40 minutes to an hour, and I talked with them. Well, I'm also on the 18th meeting with the Ministerial Society. We met with them twice, and we gave them some solutions. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. What they want to do is feed everybody in the world.
Well, they can't. No. Okay.
Tony, let me ask you something.
So what bothered me is I seen an entire council meeting devoted, and there was nothing but people show up and talk about that. And where was the Jamie Knowles at? I mean, are council members allowed to interject?
You can do it, but you know, it's a comment section. And
So I mean after. So I would like to address this comment or this comment because here's the problem I have.
you could.
And I'm gonna come to the next council meeting. This is what I'm gonna say. So while everything's hunky dory,
Yeah.
and you have people coming up and preaching their side, why are they not then addressing the laws being broken? You know, why are they not addressing the murder that happened out there, the homicide? Why are they not coming to rescue children out of buildings that they shouldn't be in?
Tony, you know the council now. The biggest problem up there, the law director.
Oh, I'd say there's more than him. I'd say you got the Kevin Snar, the Michael Snars, the law director. He's done. He's toast. And I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know if you're going after him. I don't know if anybody's going after him from the city. But I'm gonna tell you now. When they do, they need to understand that they're going after McCoy too,
Well, you know,
because there's a law. There's a law that he is responsible for everything that man did.
he said to somebody, a friend of mine, that I broke up his girlfriend. how would I know who his girlfriend is? That I have drones flying over his apartment. Hey, you're trouble. He's trouble.
He said that you had drones flying over his house.
So I'm the guy trying to get
you know what
him
it is, Pat? These people's conscience, it's eating them alive. They can't take it.
You know what it is?
It's for
They're getting a
conscience.
little bit of pressure now.
Oh, they're not used to getting it.
I know, that's right. Tony, I want to run some by you. You know, for the last several years, we hear all this stuff going on down in my father's kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Have you know, Jane goes out to some of the sites, which is too dangerous for her to be doing. She does. Have you ever thought about maybe going down to my father's kitchen yourself, blending in?
You know what? I don't think they would. As soon as they saw me, Pat, because they know because I've been down there before,
Okay.
and as soon as they saw me,
Here's what I was
they
thinking.
would climb up. I mean, I could probably get somebody that could.
Could you?
Oh yeah.
Somebody you could trust.
Yeah, he's a Marine.
For what?
He's a Marine, so I'm dead sure gonna trust him.
Somebody you trust?
Yeah, he's a Marine. Oh yeah, I'm gonna trust him. Just like I better be able to trust that damn your HR director because that Marine lies to me. And
Brady?
yeah,
You know him?
I know he's a first sergeant in the Marine Corps, so I mean, he better not fucking
I'll
break.
tell you one thing. He'll kick anybody's butt.
Yeah, except mine.
It'd be interesting. You
No.
know, he's a guy that you know where he stands on everything.
Yeah.
And here it is. Here's the truth. That's where we're at. Doesn't
We're good.
matter who or what. And he's been a breath of fresh air.
So another piece that I've been sending him some email to about that accident, and that's where it all starts. It's a leader aiding another person to break policy, and their other subordinates that see it, and the problem that I have is that policy was broke, and that's where the morale breaks down.
Well, and you know, those kind of things are important. Some people may think they're little things, but they're not.
The only thing that could have happened, okay, that guy's got a cell phone. What should have happened? Hey, get your ass back here. We got to do this the right way. There's no evidence that was in Cincinnati that needed tended to.
You know when it came to everybody's attention, an hour or two after it happened?
Wow. So that means cops were out there seeing it, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
That's what I'm telling you.
Or the BCI guy that walked out and saw his BMW that was smashed.
He was there with his son, I think. So we found out about an hour and a half, I guess, maybe after it all occurred.
Well, and that's
Tony, to go back to this, because this can be important. You know, we've heard over the years these things are going on down there. If you knew somebody that you could trust, just get down and look around that they don't know, dress the part, go down for a few days, look around, see what's going on.
yeah.
Kind of as an informant.
I can definitely. I got a couple of people I could ask. Absolutely, yeah. And they don't know them either, so nobody knows them. Something they're not from around
Well,
here.
with you, it'd be like me going down there.
Oh
You'd
yeah,
have-
yeah. I'm sticking out like a sore thumb, Pat. But yeah,
Do
I
you
can
think
ask.
that would work?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I
I
wanted
don't know.
to talk-
I don't know how much you're going to get out of 2 days,
Well, no.
but
You know what it usually takes, and I'm not asking this person to do it.
Good
about
month.
30 days
yeah,
or so
good month.
to get a feel. Get down and
Because then
eat.
they see you as a natural in one of them.
Because what will happen, you see, you'll befriend people.
Yeah.
People start talking to you. And we need to get to the bottom of all this stuff. But like I said, and I'm not complaining about it, but I've had every roadblock that you can imagine since I've been in office.
Yeah. Do you know? So this what I'm doing right now, Pat, is Mr. Scheidecker, and I hate to say this, Mr. Scheidecker and your prosecutor and your law director, those three people, they better do the right thing.
He's not my prosecutor.
No,
I'm
Sarah
talking
McMahon
about-
is your prosecutor. And Sarah McMahon is your prosecutor.
Yeah, but they're not under me.
Okay. Well, those three
You
people.
understand the separation of powers.
Yeah.
The
They're the law
administration,
director.
the legislative, and then the judicial.
Yeah. They
The
fall
law
under
director
judicial.
is elected. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what he said? He wrote a memo to everybody said, I can no longer go outside to get legal counsel.
Why was he going
Without his
outside for
approval.
legal counsel?
I do.
Oh.
Have to. He's never there.
Oh, well,
And when he gets ruled, you can't trust.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If he's not there when needed, he's not following. He's not. He's. I mean, that's his problem.
That's it. Well, but it's causing us problems. So he did that. Well, he doesn't have authority over me.
No.
So you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. We hate to because it costs money. But you can't trust a word he says. He's trouble.
He's a known liar. He's a.
You're not telling me something I don't know.
That guy illegally foreclosed on 60 properties and bid on more. And then he went and took advantage of his fellow service members' pads. And I'm going to tell you what happens like that in the military that I serve. You're getting your ass beat. And bad.
You know,
He was double dipping, Pat. He was getting paid by the military and then sending people from the military to his private practice to get paid by them.
What do you think's going wrong with the military?
What they're going to do, they're probably piggybacking off the state. And my guess is if they discipline him at all, he'll probably get a dishonorable discharge, and then he'll lose his commission. Be my guess. So that man is I don't know what how can somebody work so hard and be so stupid?
What can somebody do to kind of push that?
I gave you that guy's number. I gave you his
Do
email.
you think he would talk to us?
Hell yes, he would. Here's what you do. So
It's
that's,
not being confidential.
you can make it confidential.
No. I mean, what we need to know is it confidential? Will he open up and talk with us?
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Because you're the mayor. Because you fall under certain legalities and laws too. But so
You'd
what?
have a little more force there.
So the number that I gave you is Major whatever his
I
name is.
have it.
So I would contact him and say I need the number to Mr. Dickman's immediate.
Oh, okay. He's not the guy
He's
overseeing the
no.
investigation.
He's like the admin administrator for the entire state.
Okay.
So then it would channel down, but then you would say who is his immediate, who is his commanding officer in his immediate chain of command. And you got to be careful there too, Pat, because some of they'll take care of one because they're lawyers first.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, so you got to make sure you get the right person.
That's the danger with these things. You know, my club and I, we were invited to a business convention at Christmas. This lady comes over, she's talking very, very nice. Probably for 20, 25 minutes. Probably a little bit younger than me, been around. Come to find out she was in charge of the Ohio National Guard. And I didn't know. I never told the story.
That's
And I
the
didn't know.
person. That's the person you need to contact. That would be if she's in charge of the entire organization. That's the person you get a hold of.
We were sitting there, and this guy came over and said, "You know who that was, did you?" I said, "Not really. She's very nice." He told me, I thought, of all things.
I would say if you're able to
Confidentially.
get a hold of her, I would try that because and there again, if the state knows that he's also doing that as a lawyer in the state of Ohio with in another organization, so this I think
You would hope so.
I think the Supreme Court is going to take it more serious than the military unit because you know the only repercussions that can happen in the military is he gets kicked out of the military.
And that's not going to make much difference.
No, because he can still practice law. They can't. I mean, I don't know if they can strip him of his legal law, but the Ohio Supreme Court.
Supreme Court is stripping, and if that's the case, he can't be longer.
No,
And that's the goal. He needs to, like they
he needs to resign. He needs to quit. Whatever it takes.
I'm his bad guy, but that's okay because I want him out there if he can. You can't just trust anything except.
No, I mean,
When you were up there the night, he come up with the Christmas ornament legislation, weren't you?
I think so. When he lost,
You
when
had
he
to put times on it, and you can only put it up certain times at that pool, you have to pay fees, and at least the council didn't go on.
yeah. Well,
Do you think that guy might do that?
yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to get involved in any way other than just be there.
Yeah.
His mental notes.
Absolutely.
He
So,
could,
so
if he sees somebody inside doing drugs, all he needs to do is write down the date and the time.
Yeah.
Of what he saw.
So, what is telling you with the law director or the prosecutors? So this was brought to my attention by a lawyer. Let me interrupt myself real quick. Do you remember Rob Baker? You know that I asked you about that.
Yeah.
Do you know that man threatened to kill Judge Carey?
I didn't know that, but I can tell you, let me give you a
He
little
threatened to
history,
kill
too.
Judge Carey, a bailiff, and 3 employees in there, Pat. And they didn't do shit. I don't know.
I met him when he was a county commissioner.
He married a 15-year-old
I
girl.
know the story. He came over to me when I was commissioner and said, I play baseball with your nephew. I said, you do down in Cincinnati? And he told me, Jeff Butcher. I said, yeah. Okay.
I think I knew Jeff Butcher, the whole
You know
Butcher
the
clan.
Well, Rita Butcher's my sister.
Yeah, there's like 10 of them, and they all
10
look
of
alike.
So anyway, he was telling me the story about his girlfriend. And people tell me a lot of stuff, and I'm like, well, she's 15. And I'm thinking, son,
But her parents was okay with it.
that's what he said. But that didn't turn out to be the case.
Really?
He's lucky he's not in the penitentiary.
But see, they gave him a $60,000 severance check from the taxpayers, wrote him a letter of recommendation, but just didn't renew his contract, and that man is now practicing law in Hamilton County. But back to what I was saying. So when Judge Wooliver openly in court stated, Mr. Thomas, it's my understanding that you believe crimes were committed, and I went to say, he stopped me. He goes, I agree with you. He goes, you don't have to convince me. I agree. You know what he just did, Pat? He just made me a Marcy Local Rights. I now have, if he says he said there's crimes committed. That's all that needs to be said. That's it. Once that's recognized, Pat. Once that's recognized, so now both prosecutors have that audio, and I'm requesting that they acknowledge this judge's.
And now, is this to do with your house?
Yes.
Okay.
So once they either deny me, if they deny me, either one of them, I don't care which one it is, they're getting sued. Because once they hear that judge say, there's crimes that were committed, that automatically makes me and my entire family Marcy Law Rights victims. We have rights under Marcy Law, but then guess what that also allows us? Restitution. And there's no limit on that restitution, Pat. And if that gets, if I'm telling you, Pat, they don't want to, because the lawyer that's telling me this, they said they mess with you on this, Tony. You think what you? I'm gonna be honest with you, Pat. The OCC has contacted me. They said, Tony, although be it that we busted him, and the judge is this, he's disgraced.
He's dead.
He said, no, I'm talking about Rudd. He
Oh.
said, as long as his ruling has stands, we can't touch it. He said you either got to take it back to court and get another court result, or sue him in federal court. But here's what I got now. The bank's already been busted. The judge has been disgraced, and another judge stated crimes were committed, and now I'm a Marcy Law Rights victim. My entire family is. And so what they have to do now is tell me how I'm not.
How do you go about it then, Tony? You have to,
He told me, the judge stated, he goes, you go, did you listen to the judge? Have you heard what the judge said?
you told me.
It's 26 seconds. You want to hear it?
And now, which one is this?
This is Judge Wooliver. Come on. Okay, here we go.
Have you ever talked to Dickman yourself?
I don't think I could. I mean, because he's the type of person that I know he's such a dirtbag. I mean, I was just,
You've emailed him and he's emailed you, but you never physically.
yeah. I mean, never sat down and had like open conversation. No. Okay, here we go. Oh, hang on. Shit. Okay.
There's drawn from your arguments here today a strong belief on your part that criminal conduct took place.
Absolutely, Your Honor. And
No, I agreed with you. You don't have to say, I agree with you. Okay, now, that being said,
Wait.
you understand that criminal conduct took place.
Absolutely, Your Honor. And
No, I agreed with you. You don't have to say, I agree with you. Okay, now, that being
That's
said,
what he says.
you understand that a court such as myself does not issue charges.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Yes.
The prosecuting authorities do.
Sure, absolutely.
So my question to you is,
That's all that.
Okay.
there's drawn from your arguments here today.
Have you talked to Brian?
I sent him an email.
Did you respond?
Not yet.
How long
So I sent him this, and he said that he's trying to punt it, like that I should go to the FBI. I said no. I said no. This is your job. Did you hear what that judge said? And I said you refer it, and he's refusing to. But now I've got another angle, and if he refuses this, I'm going to tell you something, Pat. These jackass lawyers, they're not making. They're stupid, because listen. I'm not coming up with this alone, Pat. I'm not.
I understand what you're saying.
So if he refuses me Marcy Law rights, his ass is going to federal court in this county. I'm gonna rake this county over the coals.
Tony?
And for them to take a dive for somebody who is disgraced and is deceptive and is a liar and has sat on a bench for 40 years and harm people, that's sad.
Did Brian respond to your email and say that he was going to?
Not yet. For the
He
Marcy
hasn't responded
for
at
the
all?
Marcy Law rights, none of them have. So I just sent that. I just sent it yesterday,
Okay.
and I understand there's a murder trial going on and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if the city and the county prosecutor do that together or what they do.
The city prosecutor is a law director who we have no control over.
So Dickman is the prosecutor.
For the city, that's part of his duties. Prosecute all cases.
So what's the other
Tony,
two lawyers
To go
do?
back, what the revised code will say, that he prosecutes his cases in mayor's court. You know, the old, they used to have.
Yep.
Well, all those were transferred to the
Still have them in Morrow, I think.
They probably do, but you know, he is the law director for the city of prosecutor's case, and he appointed Sarah as the prosecutor. She works for him.
So
you know,
he's the
yeah.
actual prosecutor, and she's like an
He's
assistant.
the law director,
So he's like
he
the
hired
assistant. Okay.
and you know he's got a half time, part time.
So what about Caspar?
He comes in once or twice a week. He's just in for a few hours. He works for him too, but he's part time. He's not there very much at all. He seems to have some sense about him.
Every time I've ever talked to the man, I have not had a bad conversation.
Right. I think he does have some sense, and that's who we go to when we have to.
I think, yeah, I'd say
But he's
that'd
not
be
there is a problem too. He's a Claremont County person, and he works for the courts down there. That's his full-time job. He just comes up here once a week to fill in for things.
yeah.
So there's actually only two. And the problem with Dickman, he's never there. He comes in for about an hour a week with his dog,
Dickman works an hour a week,
probably.
and how much does he get paid a year?
I don't know. I have no idea what he makes. I think that if people knew it, they'd be outraged.
Well, that's what I'm going to find out.
Talk to people up there. I mean, I don't monitor him.
I'm going to ask him how many days a week he works and how much you get paid.
I can tell you this, we can't get a hold of him. I call him right now, he won't answer the call. So he's on the call 24/7, in case we had something. He wouldn't answer.
Do you have
we
that?
waited 4 months for
do-
these ordinances.
Do you have that recorded?
Do I have one?
Like however you called him where he didn't answer? Do you have
No,
that
I don't.
record of that? Okay, that's what you need to start. What you need to start keeping track of is the amount of times you've contacted him. He doesn't answer because he's morally obligated, and
Not just
I mean,
me.
by law.
You know Mike Crow, our
Yeah,
service
yeah.
director?
Redheaded
He'll
guy.
call about zoning issues, or he'll call about street stuff, or maybe somebody has an issue with transit. So it's not just us. Can't get a hold of it. And then when we do get an opinion, it's not right. Then we check it, and the attorney comes and says, no, it's not right. You see the problem that we have? It's a big problem.
You've got a lot of people up there that are self driven
Tony, you know where our problem
versus
is?
having a team.
You know where our problem is?
You don't have a team.
Internally.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we've got a team. Our department heads are strong. Our administrative staff's strong. The problem is these peripheral things that have
Your
to
chief is
control.
weak. Your chief is very weak.
You know, Mike,
No, the chief of police.
he's what?
He's weak.
Well, we've addressed that in the last week too.
He wouldn't be my chief again. I mean,
You know, you understand too that their civil service is not just a question of somebody works there. It's not like they work for me. I can bring charges, and you know,
it's a union.
it's a union, and that's harder. But there's people that they've let go who have arbitration. We're waiting on officer now. When I first started, they decided they wanted to get rid of him. So it's an
Which one? The
arbitration.
little short, bald guy?
No, I don't know him very well. He came up and talked to me when I first took office. Seemed very nice. Coates,
Jack Coates.
Jack Coates. He got terminated.
What? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I know.
Okay,
Okay, that's one of the best cops you got on your force.
I don't know him. He's been gone for.
So I didn't know that. I didn't know. I heard. I did hear that he was braided. I didn't hear he was fired.
He was terminated 5 or 6 months ago. Well,
Oh shit. Okay, so Pat, this is just an outside perception. So I know that he got braided, but I didn't know he got fired. I did not know that. You've got you had a rapist in that building.
who is?
Josh Riley.
Oh well, he's of course.
Well, I understand that, but they didn't Brady him. They didn't even take his ability to be a cop away. They just fired him, and they paid him for 2 years full salary while he was being investigated twice. BCI recommended that guy for 6 criminal charges, 2 of which were sex offenders, sex offenses. And then whomever, and that's what I'm going to find out, if that's the same jackass is working for the state of Ohio, Rob Lowe, and what the hell's his other, that recommended he only get dereliction of duty, and to turn something like that loose on our streets.
Do you realize if this had happened in Dayton, Ohio, what would have happened to him?
Oh, I know exactly what he'd be in jail.
Yes, he would.
And that's the problem, Pat. If you sit back and look, me and my neighbor was talking about this. If you look at like the cops and the sexual related terminations and crimes, man, that's high. That's a problem. That's a screening problem. That's a hiring problem. It's almost like this town hires nothing but sexual deviants. I mean, from the deputy that got caught in the back of a sheriff's car locked himself in with a young female, Scott Spicer. That was some years ago. The officer that used to set up out by Uncle Louie's at night and stop good-looking females and proposition them sex to get out of the
PD.
ticket. Yeah, Wilmington PD. Then Josh Riley, and then Anthony Mitchell. I mean, what the fuck is going on over there?
With Mitchell, I didn't know him at all.
He was messing with informants, making threats to informants and having his way with informants, and that started in Sabina, and it was well known, and so they bring him to Wilmington. So if you got a unit full of jackasses, you can't. That's what you expect, jackassery. That's what you're going to get. And I'm going to be honest with you, Pat. If it were me, I would bring a chief from out of town that has no ties with anybody
You need to know this.
and turn them loose
You need to know this.
and say,
because-
clean it up.
Exactly. That's what I would do, but here's the issue. The chief, they have to test some civil service, and this has been the history of Wilmington for as long as I can remember. So there's a test, and only sergeants can take it. And then the top score, and you add their score plus the interview, then they would be named chief. But if the sergeants say don't pass the test, then it's open to all the patrolmen.
Did you know there's an email that Brian Scheidecker sent the answers to the test to your last chief?
I heard about that.
I have it.
Investigation.
I have it.
Did you see the investigation?
Not all of it though. I mean, come on, man. Yeah.
We're not, if we have things going on, we're not going to go to, like an attorney to come down. We're going to BCI or law enforcement. It's going to criminal prosecution. It's not going to an attorney.
Yeah.
It gives just a report, which is meaningless.
Yeah. No. And here's the sad thing about that, Pat. If you go to BCI, all they can do is recommend. They
Yeah,
can't.
they don't have the power. They know where the power is. See, that's what's so misunderstood.
DOJ.
Yeah. Well, we're doing. Probably DOJ's coming in.
I would, Pat. I would tell you, they're coming in whether you like it or not.
Well,
I just got a feeling.
Tony, I'm a bigger reformer than you are.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It affects me.
yeah. It makes you look like shit.
I know.
Because there's people saying
Why didn't he do what he said he did?
yeah, or what's Stanforth 2.0. Did you hear? Do you know? I think another one of the reasons I got arrested, Pat, is John Stanforth made a PR appearance standing in front of the school telling people to pay their school taxes, and that jackass was behind $1,500 on his school taxes, and I read that. And I'm like, how are you out here paying? And by the way, hey, let's talk about how you got $500,000 worth of payment on your personal. It's the same people that he contracted for the city, Pat.
I knew it was.
Come on,
The name
man.
of that group,
They're in Wilmington.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I think when the son of the original founder of the company.
Yeah.
And then he changed the name,
So
and he had all these sweetheart deals.
oh, do you, okay. Well, I'll give you the contract. You make sure you take care of me.
Well, we're going to go forward with it.
So
We've already charges have been filed. You know how many contracts they've been given since I've been in office?
what's their names?
Fred Cox.
Do you know that and this came from an employee that was hitting me off, telling me, they said, Tony, you need to get somebody from the state and test everything they've ever done, because the cement and the concrete they use, it's not even acceptable.
It isn't. And you know what we're having to do now?
Tear it up.
Replace it.
Yeah.
David Strauss, you've been out there.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. He changed the company, but Fred Cox is the one.
Yeah, he used to be out there over there on 730.
But anyway,
I know who you're talking
we're
about.
going forward.
Hopefully they get the city's money back for paying for Stanforth. Because how are you in tax court 7 times in a year? Five or 7 times. I brought it to the council meeting. I said, how are you here and you're getting $500,000 worth of payment on your? I mean, Elmer Williams is over by him, and there's other businesses around there. All those people I know, and they're like, how in the hell is this guy? Pat, there was somebody that actually went to the court and got his records and brought him and put it in my mailbox.
25th of March, I believe, he's to appear in federal court
Yeah.
because of the charges. Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, Tony.
What charges?
I
What
read
charges
a lot.
were brought against him?
Well, you remember,
Racketeering or not? No.
remember when he paid off those people left?
He hasn't paid that back.
No.
So what about the
Attorney
female?
General take him to court.
So what about the female? What's her
Mary
name?
Milne.
Yeah, she owed
They're going
40.
after her and that other guy that was the HR director.
McKay.
No, Munchkin.
Yeah, Munchins. Do you know that Mark McKay was selling stuff to the city through a third party?
He didn't us. We stopped that.
What?
He was.
He did that the whole time he was working there, Pat.
But he didn't with us.
Because guess what? I was told the third party.
You know what Cluxton told him?
Huh?
You know what Cluxton told him? He said, well, we're not going to do that. As a former councilman, we're not going to do that.
That's
We
garbage.
don't have anything we need. But you know, when you think about Tony, doesn't that take a lot of something to come up here and say, can we sell stuff to the city?
After you've been stealing from taxpayers and being dishonest that long?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, okay, so I can see where keep business local. I understand that piece.
Here's what I wanted to tell you today, basically. I'm on top of all these things. The problem is trying to get the proper people in to take care of it. We're working on it. It's not happening overnight. You haven't told me anything that I don't know. I could fill you in for 2 hours of stuff.
Well, I you know what, Pat? I wouldn't want you to, because that just pissed me off even more.
I can't tell anybody, but you know, I can tell you this. We're on the same page with what's going on here.
When okay, so every time my daughters, they leave my house and they go for a walk in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think Brett Ruddick used to live around the corner.
I remember.
And I wonder if there's Rileys out there. You know, I worry about my kids. They're my daughters, and it scares me that our system puts somebody like that, left them on the streets, unpunished.
I agree.
I went to school with Josh Riley.
Was ready?
With Josh Riley. Josh Riley's my age, and we saw. He was kind of a weirdo even back then. But, you know, his brother was a totally different story. His brother was you know, good people. Until, of course, you know, Peel's daughter cheated on him with a football player and he killed himself. That was unfortunate.
I'm getting a call from the governor now.
Should I dismiss myself?
Nope, he's sitting it now.
Okay.
Now it's 12:46. That's great. Good.
Well, if you would mind, you heard. I'll give you the entire transcript to be fair. And if I was to compose a letter to the OCC, would you recognize that letter as the judge stating there were crimes and you feel that Judge Ruddick's hearing was not on the up and up? Something to the. I mean, of course, I wouldn't say get involved. I would say it's worth an investigation. I wouldn't even mention anybody else, but it's worth your investigation.
I think the only problem with that when you get to a legal situation is hearsay.
Yeah, I get
Let me
it. I get
think
it.
about that.
I get it. No, you're right. I get it. But it's not hearsay. It's well, it's not hearsay because I mean you're the mayor and you heard it come out of a judge's mouth, and me getting Wooliver to do any such thing. You know what? I'm gonna ride with the Marcy Law Rights because as soon as they give me Marcy Law Rights, they've acknowledged the crime, and if they don't, then we're going to court. And I promise you.
Were you in court when he said that?
Yeah, that's a court transcript.
So I was going to say that's a transcript.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got it.
Yeah. I've also got their lawyer lying, Pat. He said my accusations of him. So those jackasses, Pat, didn't know that I knew the OCC was investigating, and I held up an email to the judge, and I gave it to the judge. And that damn lawyer, he goes, well, we're not under any investigation.
Federal court.
No, it was
Warren County.
Clinton County.
Clinton County.
He said.
Oh, visiting judge.
Yeah, Wooliver. He said, Mr. Thomas's accusations are conspiracy theories. He goes, I did see where he made a complaint with the OCC, and they contacted us once, and that's it. And he goes, as far as we're concerned, that's all over, because if we don't have contact, it's over. I'm like, I don't know what kind of investigators you deal with, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the FBI will investigate your ass. You won't hear a peep until they're walking your ass out 5 or 7 years later, and promise you're going to prison. You're not getting out.
That's true.
And so I said, Your Honor, I said, this man's lying to your face right now. I said, he's lying to your face right now. I've got that on the transcript where he's saying that he wasn't under investigation, and he knew he was, Pat. He knew he was under investigation because he's the lawyer for the bank. He's the family. He's Judge Herdman's nephew. He's Dolores Summers' nephew. That's a whole big family of dirty ass lawyers over there. And you know what? My grandfather was a Tennessee State Patrol, and of course, I'm originally from Nashville, and I'll have you know, he left when he said it started getting corrupt, and he left because I will not wear this uniform and taint it and be a part of it.
Did you know that Tennessee at one time was the most corrupt?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You knew that?
Yeah, Nashville and Knoxville between the two of them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Now it's Ohio. Do you know that Ohio was?
You get into these things. What it says, fraud alert will decline.
Hey, Pat. I just got taken for $2,300 because of that yesterday. Don't answer it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Judge,
How are they getting our information?
I don't know.
Because
But
you've got my credit card number.
take that. Pat, I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
Take that to Detective Jewelry now. That's local. Detective Jewelry. He just took all this down yesterday for me at Wright Pat.
Okay.
So, yes. I would call him now because if you can,
I can.
because listen, when you respond to that, they're going to call you. They have all your banking information right now. They have it. But
And
what
you
they
got it too?
But what they took $2,300 in 17 minutes. No, my bank they're giving it back to me. But here's the thing: it was used locally, point of sales. They're going in and buying those prepaid credit cards. So
I will do that.
that's you.
I have two of them.
Did
for
you
the
just get
last 5 minutes? And they're identical.
Yeah. Well, I gave him the screenshot. So, and when they call you, they sound like your bank. They talk like your bank. They're going to send you an email with your bank's header on it and everything else, and they say respond to this, and so we can decline it. And the second you push that button, Pat, anything you got in your account is gone.
Wow.
17 minutes, they got $2,300 out of my account. Yeah.
Free message, and the bank wouldn't do this anyway. They wouldn't send it back.
Yeah, I'll talk to a couple guys about going down there. If they will, then great. Yeah, I mean, of course, anybody new that's going to stick out like a sore thumb, they're going to probably.
Well, but you want to take some time.
I'm going to tell you.
Raspberry Noah, if you got the blue raspberry.
Was. I ran into someone going up to the Golden Corral this morning. Sounded like a pretty hard ice ball there for a minute.
Yeah, I like your cars, I told you. We had one.
That
Good car.
This is the most comfortable car I've ever driven in my
It
life.
is. What year is it?
It's 17.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Good shape.
It's very good shape.
Where'd you get it?
Cronin, down in Harrison.
Did you?
Yeah. I had the GS 350, and then I had an E-Class Mercedes-Benz, and it was too small.
That's a 6. And they like you too, and they last. Never had a problem.
And you know what? I